What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. We're back with another episode from W Damage series, and today we are talking about Clan Boss. I'm gonna put all my effort into helping you guys to reach the Clan Boss damage that you need. To 1 key Ultra Nightmare, 2 key Ultra Nightmare, or 3 key it and 1 key Nightmare, just to get that top chest and bring those juicy rewards home. It's very, very important to get all that done, because honestly, it's the best thing in the game. Do Clan Boss. Whenever somebody starts the game, the very first thing that we kind of like recommend is do your campaign, do your farmer, create your core team, move over to Clan Boss, because that's what gives you the best rewards. Now, there are a few things that people need to understand when we are talking about Clan Boss. We have multiple sort of teams. We actually have three sort of teams, right? So we have the Infinite Comp team, which is just one of a kind. It needs the exact specific champions to do it. So we're gonna scrap that. We're not gonna talk about that today, but we're gonna talk about high defense teams and unkillable teams. I'm gonna show you how to build your champions to maximize their damage, and I'm gonna give you a lot of tips to help you improve your Clan Boss team. So let's quickly have a look right here. So if we're gonna go over to my clan, we have loads of Barrier comps. We have Helicat teams. Nobody really uses high defense teams anymore, and the reason for it is much easier to do it with unkillable teams. You see, every single team right here is unkillable. In a way or another, we're counting on unkillable champions. It's much easier to get the 1 key damage with that, and I'm gonna explain you why. I'm gonna give you some tips on how to improve your high defense team and how to improve even your unkillable team, regardless of what you're using. So now that we kind of like established what sort of teams we have, we gotta understand what sort of damage dealers we have. Again, we have 3 different types of damage dealers, okay? So for the high defense teams, we have the high defense damage dealers like Elton, we have Resin, we have Iron Brago, champions that actually smack hard, and you can build them with high defense. We have Mishinaki, which is a new champion added to the game. Then you have raw DPS. Think about Turvold, right? He is a raw DPS. Think about Ninja, raw DPS. Think about Jintoro. Think about Brackus. Think about Septimus, Acrisia. All these champions are raw damage dealers. They are mainly used in unkillable teams. When you are talking about high defense teams, you can use them, but because you need to worry about survivability, you need to worry about damage stats, it's gonna be much harder for you guys to bring all that home unless you have a very developed account with very solid gear, max grade haul, empowerment on them. Then it becomes a bit easier. You can give them survivability, give them damage. Then the third type of damage is poisoners. And the reason why I've put them separately, I'm actually gonna explain you. So I'm gonna take you all the way back to the past. So the poisoners, let's have a look, for example, at Occult Brawler. Or think about Frozen Banshee or other champions like that, including Dracomorph, even though he's a solid raw damage dealer as well. When we are talking about poisoners, they are more versatile. You can use them in high defense teams, you can use them in unkillable teams. The reason for it is that their main source of damage is the debuff called poisons, right? So we're landing poisons on the boss. That's what gives us most of the damage. That allows us to build these champions with survivability and don't have to worry so much about their damage, okay? We clarified a bit everything that we need to know about damage dealers, right? So we have 3 sort of damage dealers. We have mainly 2 different Clan Boss teams out there: unkillable, non-unkillable, the high defense ones. And there are a lot of champions that, when we are talking about high defense teams, they can do damage, you know? So you will have to prioritize some damage. But because it's called a high defense team, I would assume it's kind of like straightforward. You want to use defense-based champions because you're going to be able to give them damage like that. That's why they're called high defense teams, like Crush the Mangler. I'm going to give him crit rate, I'm going to give him crit damage, but he's a defense-based champion, easier to keep alive, and he's gonna deal damage as well with the survivability that I'm giving him, you know? That's kind of like the whole idea with these teams. What we're gonna do now, guys, I'm actually gonna build one of each of the champions that I named, each one of the damage dealers, while I'm gonna explain you different things, while I'm gonna give you different tips for each one of the teams, and hopefully this will help you out to improve your damage in Clan Boss and bring that top chest home. I'm gonna start with the very classic champion, and that is the high defense based nuker. The reason for it is because that's the most traditional team. Even though the meta at the moment is unkillable, we're actually gonna go with that. So I have my Elton right here. Scrap the empowerment, scrap the awakening, don't think about that. What I'm showing you guys is how to prioritize the build on him. What you need in order for a high defense team to be successful. Of course, when you are talking about Clan Boss and a team, you might want to speed tune your team in order to achieve better results, to have everything under control, have the right buffs at the right moment. But that's something completely different than what we're doing right here. We are talking about how to get the most damage. So whenever you're creating your team, you gotta keep all that in mind. Speed tuning is very important if you wanna achieve great results. So we have Elton right here with no gear. I do have Masteries. If needed, I'm gonna reset them and do them together with you guys. So Elton, not only that he's gonna bring attack down, he's gonna bring us increased defense, okay? So this is actually gonna be very, very important for what we're doing. We have a defense aura in all battles by 33% from him. So this is something that we need in a team. Let's just say together with him, we're gonna use a Valkyrie, so we have a shield that's gonna give us survivability. We can use an ally protection champion, we can use a poisoner, and we can use maybe an ally attack or some sort of different champion, maybe a cleanser, a healer. Now, when we are talking about high defense teams, and the reason why I'm going here is because it's related to his build. It's very important either to have lifesteal gear, either to have leech and support. So lifesteal and leech, they go good hand in hand. But then on top of this, you're always gonna need to have an extra support champion that heals, cleanses, block debuffs to support the team. In case if a War Master proc is not gonna drop in there, you're not gonna get to heal with lifesteal or with leech. And that can be a problem. Now, if you have very solid gear, you're gonna deal enough damage to heal back on full HP without a problem. Okay, so you won't really need that support champion, but let's just assume that the majority of you guys won't be in that situation. So for the purpose of the video, we're actually gonna build Elton on lifesteal. How I mentioned, high defense teams, they need to survive. You need to have either leech, either lifesteal on your entire team, and then preferably have some extra support to give you an extra heal every now and then. The very first thing that I do when I'm building a champion is not the Masteries. That's actually the last thing that I'm doing. But right now I already have the 5 crit rate from Masteries because they're done. So this is a defense-based champion. I'm gonna go right here, look for a defense ring, okay? So that's kind of like what I want to see. I'm gonna look for the highest roll on defense, and that's what I'm gonna use on the champion. I have 18%, 10% HP. The HP actually will help us as well. So far, that's what we found the best. This is 17 with 20% HP. So that's actually better for sacrificing 1% defense, you know. So we're gonna get that. That's gonna give us a decent amount of survivability and damage at the same time. I'm gonna look for a crit damage amulet. He's gonna be doing the damage for me. Now I do have a counter attack accessory, which seems like is crit damage. The only thing is I have very low accuracy. I have no defense on it, and it's a 5% chance for it to happen. I don't want to use a refresh accessory because that will mess up my entire speed tuning when he's gonna use the defense up. So I want to make sure I have that under control. I'm gonna use for something else. I want to prioritize defense accuracy, preferably on him. That looked pretty good. This looks good because we have accuracy, no defense, which is fine if we don't have it. I want to make sure I'm able to get the accuracy that we need in order to land the debuffs, okay? Now, I have my Elton empowered. He's gonna have way more accuracy than normally. I have my Great Hall Max. He's gonna have more accuracy than normal. So because of it, I'm still gonna go with an accuracy banner. So let's just say the 100 extra accuracy you see on him, we're gonna scrap it off. So now I'm gonna prioritize an accuracy banner that will have defense and speed as a substat. So I have only a few of them available. You see, this one has attack, is not the best substat, but it's not necessarily the biggest problem if I have. How I mentioned, I do not want to use refresh accessories. this is what I have available on the account right now without an equipping from different champions. Usually, you're gonna look for what you have the best on your account when you are building your clan boss team. That is key to it, okay? So we're gonna get that done. We already got some speed on him. We got the accuracy that we need more or less. I'm still gonna need to prioritize a bit from the rest. And we're done. Now here, depending on how advanced is your account, you're gonna have a couple of different options. If you think that your gear is decent and your account is advanced a bit, you're gonna go with crit damage gloves. If you don't think that your account is developed enough and you're still early on, in the early days, you're gonna go with defense gloves if possible. So we're gonna go at lifesteal gear. I'm gonna go on crit damage gloves because my account is advanced enough in order to do that. And the very first thing you wanna do if you are building it on lifesteal is prioritizing 4 pieces of lifesteal gear. Then you can either use a broken set, either use something else that will benefit him. Accuracy, perception, speed if you're lacking the speed, or maybe use immortal to help him with the heal a bit, or use a defense set. So I have these gloves. I would prioritize on the gloves because our crit damage gloves, crit rate, defense, speed in this specific order, right? So we're gonna have crit rate right here, HP, no defense, no speed. I'm gonna look to see if I have better ones. I have crit rate, I have defense, but no speed, which is fine. We have speed, crit rate, flat defense. Not the worst thing that we could have. So just looking around, we just found what we needed right here. I don't have a very high crit rate on, but these gloves are absolutely perfect for what I'm gonna do right here. Then, once I've put the gloves on, a lot of you guys might not be able to get them from lifesteal, which is fine. Use at a different, just look at a different set, you know. Right now, I'm gonna go at the chest and boots. The bottom pieces are the hardest pieces to get with the right stats, substats. That's why I'm starting from here, because after, the top pieces will be much easier to fill up. And I'm gonna click on defense. I wanna get defense boots, I wanna get defense chest piece. Now, depending on what sort of team you're making, okay, maybe you're gonna need to give him speed boots in order to achieve the right speed, which is fine. If you gotta do that, just go and do it. For the purpose of the video, I'm actually gonna go in with defense. And you see, I don't really have many options for chest pieces or boots from a lifesteal set. So I'm gonna keep in mind, okay, maybe I can use a defense set, an accuracy set, sorry. I know I don't really have many pieces from the defense set. Maybe I could use potentially a speed set if that's something that I'm gonna lack. Maybe I can use a crit damage just to get more damage in, you know. So we have a few options here and there in what we could actually use. If I'm gonna scroll down, I'm gonna find different things that I could potentially use, like immortal sets right here, or I could use perception sets that will give me a bit of speed, will give me the missing accuracy. So will be kind of like a jackpot in using the perception because it's such an amazing set. That might be probably the best choice for the majority of you guys, considering that you're gonna be able to get that from farming faction wars, you know. So I'm gonna look for a piece that has a lot of crit rate because the glove, they don't have that much crit rate, you know, the glove, sorry. So we have that covered. These are not the best boots, but we're gonna take them in. So right now, I covered all the accuracy that I need. If you have a lot of accuracy, you can always either change the amulet, but preferably would be to change the banner from an accuracy to defense if your build allows you to do it. So we've done that. We need to cover 52% crit rate. So what I'm gonna prioritize on these pieces first, starting with the weapon, is gonna be speed and crit rate. We gotta cover them both, right? So preferably the weapon to have as many rolls on crit rate as possible, because the attack from the weapon won't help us. We don't really want to give him much HP either because he's already on a strong amount of HP. So we're gonna look for a lot of crit rate. This looks decent. This looks even better, right? So this is actually perfect for what we need. We have triple crit rate on this, beautiful. We already covered 24, so we're left with 28 to cover from the helmet and the shield. Now, here is a bit of a different problem. I want to get either more crit damage, either more defense on him. Once you pass over 4.5k defense in total, the survivability is not really gonna do a lot in clan boss, but the damage will. So that's the reason why you might want to go with more defense just to get even more damage on clan boss. So we're gonna keep the same speed, crit rate, but I'm gonna look to see if I have a defense, if I have a crit damage instead, because all of them will actually help us. This helmet is actually perfect too. We get a lot of speed, we get a good amount of crit rate. Let's see if we actually have a better one available maybe. Maybe one that is not equipped so I don't have to make a mess on the account. We have the attack, that's something that is like, you know what, Skratch, let's not use it. But then we got this one, which as well looks pretty good, right? So we still need to cover 18% crit rate. It might be a bit hard to get it done, but hopefully we're gonna have a shield that's decent enough and will allow us to get a crit rate up and running. If you're getting more accuracy from the weapon, is fine. That's actually beneficial, but you want to prioritize on the helmet and shield some defense too, because it's gonna make your champions tankier, you know, it's gonna make them more powerful. This right here is the perfect shield for a champion like this. If I don't have a better one, I'm actually gonna put that just for the purpose of the video to give you guys that insight that you want to get. And now I'm left with 5% crit rate short. What I can do is change the helmet, so I gotta look for a different helmet. Speed wise, I'm 197. This is an amazing speed even for a ultra nightmare. Probably I will need to chop down on the speed, but just because my champion is actually empowered, he does have that extra speed, so I'm gonna leave it like this, just kind of like to get an idea. Even this doesn't give me more crit rate, so we're a bit short on crit rate here, you see. It's not necessarily the biggest problem that we have, but this can affect you every now and then. Then we found this helmet, so should I trade the 77 defense and 11 speed for all this extra crit rate? I feel like I wouldn't want to do it, you know. It's 5% crit rate is not the end of the world. So I'm actually gonna go with this build. I don't have a very high crit damage on the champion either, mainly because I don't have crit damage on the substats. So I don't have crit damage here, no crit damage here, no crit damage on the chest, no crit damage on the boots. So that actually kind of like cripples our build a bit. I would prefer to have a bit of more crit damage on him. But right now the total stats that we got, 48k HP, which is a bit high for the build, but because he's empowered, is going to be a bit more inflated. 5.6k defense. I feel like 4.5k defense upwards for a high defense DPS is spot on. 200 crit damage, spot on. How I mentioned, if you're not that advanced yet, probably you're going to get defense gloves instead. You might get speed boots and you will have lower crit damage, which is fine. That's when you kind of need to make sure you have an extra support champion to support the team with healing, you know. These are kind of like the stats that we have on him. The accuracy is overkill. You only need around 230, 240, depending on what masteries you're getting as well. So coming at masteries, this is a support champion, right? Defense-based champion. We are getting buffs from him, but does that mean that we want to get support masteries on him? That could help us with attack down. That would actually be very, very important. We definitely want to avoid having Cycle of Magic on him. These masteries are mainly for faction war, so if I'm going to scrap them off, I'm going to go with the offense masteries first. So the way I'm starting it, I'm prioritizing the very important things that we need. Now, we cannot have anything that affects Stun Meter on him, because again, this will mess up our entire build, our entire team. So right now I'm thinking, okay, I need to have that attack down guaranteed, okay? If I have counter attack, ally attack, I can go and pick up the defense 3, because I'm gonna get enough attacks with the A1 to make sure that I'm gonna land the attack down when needed, unless we're super unlucky. Now, if I don't have any ally attack, any counter attack, I might wanna think about it better and go with support 3 instead. So then we can get Sniper and Master Hexer. So it helps us a bit more with the build. For the purpose of the video, I'm actually gonna go on the defense 3. We're getting Tough Skin, that gives us more defense, right? So let's get that. Then we're gonna bring all this damage reduction from the Masteries. Decrease the damage from AoE attacks by 5%. We're gonna get this for extra shield in case we have a Valkyrie or a Brogni or a different champion in the team, whatever we might have, even a Toragi. Right here is, should we go with heals this champion? That's not gonna benefit us at all. So we're gonna get this, and we're gonna go all the way down to counter attack. Now I'm gonna get delay that because this is actually very, very important for him. I'm gonna go with retribution, I'm gonna go with deterrence, and I have one left which honestly will not help the champion whatsoever, but because we are using this champion in other content, not only clan boss, I'm actually gonna go with cycle of violence. So whenever he gets to smack, we're gonna have a chance to decrease the cooldown for faction wars or whatever else. This would be the masteries that I would get on him. And if I'm gonna use a Sepulture Sentinel, Sandless Survivor, Resin, all these sort of champions will probably be in the same sort of situation in terms of build, in terms of masteries. That's how you're building a high defense team for damage, you know? All the champions, most of the champions should be built like this. Moving over to the raw DPS or Poisoner for what matters. We picked Fane, very popular champion, and the one problem with her is that she has a very low defense, which makes her very hard to keep alive on high defense teams if are non-unkillable. And the whole idea with her is she's mainly used on unkillable. She really shines on unkillable teams. So we're gonna first do a raw damage poisoner team for unkillable teams, okay? This time around, she is an attack-based champion. We're probably gonna use her with champions that increase attack or anything like that. We're gonna go on the accessories first. I wanna prioritize attack on her, so we're gonna look for an attack ring that gives us a lot of attack. We have 18% right there. Let's see if we have something better. 25% HP percentage. We don't really need to care about survivability for what we're doing right here. For the purpose of the video, let's not go with the most OP thing. Then I'm gonna go for a crit damage amulet, because we want her to deal some damage. She doesn't hit very, very hard as a raw DPS, but she can do some damage. So you want to make sure you maximize everything that you can. And this time around, I definitely want to use crit damage refresh accessories. I don't have accuracy on this. I would prefer one with accuracy, but I'm still gonna use that one. It's only a 5-star as well. Is it really worth it for that 5% chance? Yes and no, depending if you're relying on the RNG, you know. So maybe a 6-star one with nice accuracy might be better. Then I have an accuracy counter attack banner, but I only have one roll on attack. I have no speed. That might actually mess my unkillable team up if I don't get the right speed on Fane. I do want to prioritize in getting attack boots on her, you know. So the more speed and attack on the actual banners, the better. This one looks the best so far. Let's see the 5-star. Yeah, so we're gonna go with this. 17 speed, 13% attack. That's kind of like what we want to get. Again, we are talking about unkillable. They are kind of like two different options depending on how advanced is your account. Either you're gonna go with crit rate gloves and speed boots maybe. Either you're gonna go with crit damage gloves, speed boots, or attack boots. So again, the very first thing I'm doing is finding the crit damage gloves, starting with the bottom pieces. You can use Relentless on this, so up to you what exactly you're planning to do with the champion, you know, so just as an idea. I see that I have crit damage gloves with crit rate from the perception set, which will actually help me a lot because I might need to get some extra accuracy depending on how advanced is my account. I have some from Relentless if I'm doing a Barrier, but because we're not sure what team we're building, I'm not gonna use any of those. Then I have speed, I have crit damage, and actually I have crit rate, attack, accuracy. No speed on them, which is fine. We might get it from somewhere else. And we're gonna go with this actually. I don't need lifesteal here. I can use broken sets, I can use whatever set. Savage will make a bit of a difference, but will not be insanely wow in clan boss, you know, because the actual boss has a very low defense. Right now, we're prioritizing attack. So let's change from substat, go to the main attack, and put speed and crit rate at substats. That's kind of like what we need to make this work. I'm gonna look to see if I need to steal any pieces from somebody. Seems like I cannot get the bottom pieces from a crit damage set because they're already used. So I'm gonna try to get them from some other set that I'm not actually using at the moment. Even if they are broken sets, it doesn't matter. Speed crit rate 17, 10 speed, we're getting accuracy. For the moment, I'm gonna keep this in my eyesight. Maybe I'm gonna use it. This one has a lot of speed but low crit rate. Speed, crit rate, defense, potentially good. So we have a broken set so far. Let's see if we find anything better in there. We have some decent boots, but lowish speed on it. You know, it's gonna be hard after to get the speed if we're not gonna be spot on with it. Again, we have a nice attack chest piece from a perception set. I'm definitely gonna consider in using that and maybe use a broken piece at the top later on. Then we cover the bottom. We have decent speed. We gotta cover 43% more crit rate. I haven't done masteries on her, so actually I need 5% less crit rate than what I said. I already have a very nice amount of crit damage, considering that I'm gonna get more pieces and I'm gonna get the masteries done. Now we are going at the top. Speed, crit rate is still gonna be our main priority. I already have a crit damage piece right here, so I wanna fill up the set. I'm firstly gonna look at the weapon. I wanna have on the weapon speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, just to bring in the most amount of damage. This is a happy case, okay? It's very hard to get a piece that has this perfect substats, but lucky enough, I have one on my account. We're gonna use this 5-star piece right here. And you see, our stats are getting better and better. Now I'm actually gonna look for a helmet, preferably with the exact same substats. Because I have a piece from a perception set and I want to fill it in to get that extra accuracy that I need, because I'm not that safe just yet, I'm going to scroll all the way to the perception. And I don't have one, unfortunately. So because of it, now I'm going to look to fill up the broken set with another broken piece that will have the substats that I need. And this helmet right here looks pretty good. Do I have a better one than that? This one actually looks very, very good. We're going to put this one so far. My speed is pretty low, but mainly, she will need either 170 plus speed, depending on what team you're building for an unkillable one, or you're gonna have to go all the way faster to 200 plus, and then you're gonna wanna go with speed boots most probably, or prioritize more speed from the pieces. And I need to cover 10% crit rate from here, because I can get the rest from the masteries. Right now, we cannot get attack on the banner. On the shield, sorry. So I'm gonna go all the way to perception. You see, I have more options in terms of shields, speed, crit rate, crit damage. Preferably some accuracy would be nice in here, but because this is a piece from a perception set, we're gonna be spot on with it too. This is a nice one. It's gonna give me a bit on overkill on crit rate. It's gonna be hard to find one that has the exact amount of crit rate that we need, but seems like we actually found one which doesn't really give us such an overkill, and I don't have to break. That's 14 over 10, so 14 speed over 9. We're short on speed, so we're gonna go with this one. And this is our build for Fane. The speed will have to be adjusted to whatever team you guys are using. Kind of like ignore the speed, just jump into the process, okay? Masteries. So right now, I mentioned we're gonna use her on unkillable. If you're using her on block damage, you wanna avoid at all cost going with defense, because it's gonna be pointless unless you're not gonna have block debuffs and you can make use of deterrence. But even like that, I find it hard to justify it. Now, if we're going on relentless, definitely go on this. So let's start again with the main things that we're doing. Offense, we're getting kind of like the stuff that we need. We're definitely gonna get either Heart of Glory if it's block damage, either Grim Resolve if it's unkillable. So let's go with Grim Resolve. Let's just say we're using Man-Eater or you're using something else. Then we're gonna go all the way down. We're prioritizing everything on damage here, guys. Nothing that affects Terminator, War Master, because she doesn't have a lot of multi-hits. And we've covered that. Now, if you're early on and you're really struggling with accuracy, go on the support tree, okay? Go like support, go pinpoint accuracy, go charge focus, go swarm speed. Actually, let's go like that. So we're gonna go like this instead of the counter attack path, which is a viable option too. Charge focus, swarm meter. We're gonna get Cycle of Magic. We're gonna get Evil Eye just to help us in other content in faction wars or anything else like that if you're using her on bosses. If you're getting Lord of Steel, it can work in some teams no. So try to avoid that if you're not 100% sure that Lord of Steel is okay in your team. We're gonna get Master Hexer. Sniper Mastery is not really gonna help us on our build regardless, okay? Because she already has a 100% chance to land the debuffs. So the last one is kind of like, what should we do? If you can save your last 200 scrolls, save them. Don't get them, okay? If you're farming the Masteries. But if you do, probably just go in and get Kill Streak will help you in other content but the clan boss. But this is our Feint, guys. Total stats, 6,000 attack. You see, we focused everything on damage here because we don't care about survivability whatsoever. Look at her low HP and low defense, okay? On a high defense team, she's gonna get hammered like this. 182 speed, 101 crit rate, 268 crit damage, 274 accuracy. Spot on. Now, depending on how advanced is your account, your stats might not look like this, but at least will give you an idea on what you wanna prioritize. I have one more build that I wanna show you guys, and that is the third damage dealer, which relies purely on poisons and can be used on a high defense team. So our next champion will be Frozen Banshee. It seems like I cannot find an Occult Brawler on the account that's leveled up at 60 for some reason. She's a poisoner. She's not well known in the world of raw DPS champions or anything like that. So we're gonna build her for a high defense team. Don't get me wrong, you can use her on Unkillable the same way we've just built Feint, okay? But Frozen Banshee, she doesn't hit that hard, okay? Her base attack is a bit lower, even though she is an attack-based champion. So what we're gonna do right now, we're actually gonna come right here and prioritize the right stats. So we're gonna go and look for a defense ring. We want to make sure she's gonna stay alive. What do we have available? I have none of the fancy ones, no refresh accessories or anything like that, which I would love to have. We have this one, triple defense, but I have no HP percentage on it. I kind of need to get some HP on her as well. I feel like this might be a better option. I have some attack, which will give me some damage. Her damage is based on attack, you know, so I'm gonna try to pinch a bit of attack here and there from substats. It's gonna be very important if I want to maximize her damage too. Now we're gonna get the amulet. So crit damage amulet as an idea if you're gonna go with some crit rate, but we're not gonna give her crit damage gloves, okay? So let's see, do we have any crit damage available? Seems like we don't. Maybe we're gonna have a defense one available. Let's see. So I have a defense amulet available. This one has triple HP. We're prioritizing here to have some accuracy crit damage, preferably, considering that we haven't found a crit damage amulet. And we found the perfect one right here. Defense, triple crit damage, and we have accuracy and HP. It would have been god tier for the build if that resistance was gonna be attack. So we're gonna use this one. I need an accuracy banner. Now, on this accuracy banner, I wanna prioritize defense, attack, speed, and HP. If I find a godly one like this one right here, beautiful. This would be nice too, but I feel like I do want to prioritize the survivability more than the raw damage, because how I mentioned, we're not going to have an increased attack in the team. She's not really going to smack that hard anyway. Her damage will come mainly from poisons. The reason why I do want her to have some damage is to make sure she's gonna heal to stay alive, either with lifesteal, either with leech, depending on what sort of things we have in there. So we covered the accessories. Now, I'm actually gonna prioritize defense on the gloves instead. You can go with crit rate, depending on how advanced is your account, but I wanna get that actually done. So I wanna go on defense percentage, not flat defense. And I have these ones, attack, crit rate, crit damage. They're very, very nice. But I want to have some speed too, and preferably a bit of more crit rate, you know. Let's just see what we can find available. We have this from Immortal. They look decent. We have this from Resilience. Defense, attack percentage, crit rate. We have some speed. So let's go to the Fearing Room to make sure we're not wasting silver. We have one from Speed. And this actually looks pretty nice, considering there is a speed set, which we might need in order to get the speeds right. We're gonna go like that. Now, I wanna start looking for lifesteal now. Do I have anything available? I have one piece right here. Let's see if I'm dropping all these requirements, speed and crit rate. Do I have anything else available from lifesteal? I do not. Maybe I have something from speed, defense, attack, speed, crit damage. Okay, that actually looks pretty decent. I have this one, which is very, very nasty, but I feel like it's just too powerful to give it to Frozen Banshee. So maybe I'm gonna use the very first one that we found, right? Actually, this is nice. This is nice. We have everything that we need. It's still a very powerful piece, but we're gonna use this. We already have decent amount of speed on our champion. Now, we need to go at lifesteal. I'm gonna build her on lifesteal too, because we need to have survivability. If you have leech, don't really worry about lifesteal, because it's not really gonna be your main priority anymore. Okay. There we are. So I'm gonna look at the boots first, see what I have available. I have speed, crit rate, defense, HP, accuracy. Let's build one with speed boots instead this time around. I have with attack. We already have a decent amount of defense on the champion. Of course, you can go with defense boots. You can go with attack boots maybe if you have very crazy stats. We're gonna use this. This actually looks pretty nice. So we got a lot of speed from there. We're pretty much covered with the speed that we need. So right now I'm gonna prioritize crit rate, crit damage, or not necessarily crit damage, crit rate, and let's go for defense. So we get in more survivability. And we're gonna scroll all the way back because the game likes to mess us up. And we're gonna find the lifesteal set. We have speed, defense, crit rate, accuracy. I would love to get to 100 crit rate just to be able to get some damage with her, so she gets to heal, you know. So maybe we're gonna use that as an idea for the moment. This is actually a very nice piece. If we could use that one from him. So I'm gonna use the one that I have. There we go. Maybe something better from the helmets here. The one from Elton has a lot of speed. This one is actually very, very nice from him, so we're gonna use this. We don't need to cover that much speed, but we have crit rate, we have a bit of crit damage to help us, defense percentage, so let's get that up and running. And we should kind of like cover 19% crit rate. Now I cannot have defense on the weapon, so let's make sure we're changing back to it. And let's put crit rate and attack this time around. And go back to lifesteal. We said we need 19. I'm not 100% sure if I have the Masteries on. This weapon right here is beautiful. But maybe I have a slightly better one in terms of crit rate. There we go. 19, exactly how much we needed. We have the accuracy spot on. You might want to prioritize to have some accuracy on her. And this is the build that we have. She will do a bit of damage, raw damage, because we gave her crit rate. She's gonna heal with lifesteal. If War Master doesn't proc all the time, this will actually help her a bit. She doesn't have extremely high crit damage because we didn't have a crit damage amulet, but I feel like we found a very decent build for Frozen Banshee. Let's check the Masteries just in case. I do have the right Masteries for her. I feel like I'm happy with these Masteries. What I would probably change, let's see if they're for free, we can do it. Let's get our damage in play here. I do want to get Heart of Glory on the champion, so let's get that. Life Drinker will help us with a bit of extra healing. Hello, game. We cannot use Thermeter Mastery, so we're gonna go and get Single Out and go all the way to War Master. My god, feels like the game just lags, doesn't want to let me do my stuff. So I'm gonna go on Pinpoint Accuracy. Frozen Banshee as a poisoner, if she doesn't land the A3, the poison sensitivity, we're in a bit of a pickle. So we want to make sure we're getting Cycle of Magic just to help out with the rotation of the skills. Depending on what champion you are using, you might want to get Sniper. Now, Frozen Banshee doesn't need Sniper because she has a 100% chance to land the debuff with the A1. So we're not going to take Sniper. I'm actually going to leave that free. And I'm going to go on Killstreak instead. It's not going to help us, but at least we have it done and I don't have a red dot. So this is my Frozen Banshee, the Poisoner build for a high defense team. Total stats, we have 34k HP. The HP is good enough, okay? So we're going to use Glyphs. We've seen the gear is not Glyph. That's actually going to help a lot. Glyphs are making such a massive difference, guys. Definitely do not forget to Glyph. 2.4k attack, 300 more from the blessing, which helps a lot. 4.1k defense, spot on with what we have right here, with increased defense from Elton, for example, and having a defense aura or something like this is gonna help to keep this champion alive for a long time. 202 speed, full crit rate to help with the survivability with the heal, and 149 crit damage, 250 accuracy to ensure that we are landing the debuffs. 230 accuracy with the Masteries, that we've got pinpoint accuracy, and the rest are spot on. Now, hopefully this video was helpful for you guys and will actually help you understand on how to build your champions to double your damage, maximize your damage, get them to their full potential. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like, subscribe for more content. If you have any questions whatsoever, make sure you guys drop them in the comments down below, or feel free to join Discord. The link is in the pinned comment as well, or in the description. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.